I've never talked about this with my parents, but I'm sure that they know. I've never really dived deep into it. It's just something that I've just been holding on, to.
That's why I'm here.
To my mom, I just wanted to know, like, why I wasn't, good enough to get that validation from her and that motherly love that I, craved, all my life. Sometimes I literally will just break down.
And again, not trying to put anybody on blast or anything, but I'm just gonna ask, right? Was this like your brother?
What's up, YouTube? Make sure that you click the notification bell. We're gonna be going live in 2024, doing live interviews, and I wanna make sure you catch it in the moment. So make sure you tap that notification bell. Now back to the content.
What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews, out here with another one. So we got a young lady with us today. How you doing today, miss?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. It's a little bit cold earlier, but it's starting to warm up a little bit. All right, so are you homeless?
I am.
Okay, and so how old are you?
I'm 28.
28. And so how long have you been homeless?
Probably about 3 months now.
3 months? What was it that happened 3 months ago that caused you to become homeless?
Got evicted from my place. After that, I was staying in hotels and I just couldn't afford it anymore, so I just found a shelter to stay at, me and my kids.
Okay, how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids.
3, and so how old? Well, how old are they?
5, 3, and 1.
Okay, 5, 3, and 1. All right, and so as far as it goes, what's going on, brother? All right, 5, 3, and 1, and so are they like, I guess in like the shelter with you and stuff like that? So they're being watched right now by the folks at the shelter or school or what?
They're actually sitting in the car right now. My 3 and 1-year-old, 5-year-olds in school.
Okay, awesome. All righty, there's a fella in that car. Is that your guy or whatever?
No, just a friend of mine that stays in the shelter with me.
Okay, so he stays in a BMW? No, just playing. I know how it is, trust me.
Yeah.
Like, you could be driving anything and end up in bad situations. So, all right, so have you ever been married?
I haven't.
No? Okay. So, as far as 3 months ago, getting evicted, what was it that happened that caused us to, have to get evicted or whatever?
Just couldn't make rent.
Well, I guess, right, and I guess I'm asking, what was the cause, the income, you know what I'm saying? What caused the income to kind of stop coming in or whatever it was?
It didn't stop coming in. I just couldn't keep up with it. My rent was $1,600 a month. I was barely making $1,200 a month. So.
Okay, what were you doing?
Keep up with it. I was just doing customer service, work from home.
Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. So basically, just wasn't making enough.
Yeah.
Are you still working?
I'm not working anymore.
No. Okay. All right, and so 28. All right, so let's just start from the beginning. So, where are you from?
I'm from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Hey man, shout out that east side, man. Shout out that big old Stone Mountain. Yes sir, that 383. Shout it out, man. She's like, I don't know about that. Hey man, look, I'm from the east side, man, so I'm gonna say shout it out all day long. All right, and so growing up in Stone Mountain, man, did you have both mom and dad in the household?
I did for a while.
Up to what age?
I got divorced when I was probably about 14.
14 or so? Did their splitting up have any effect on you or anything like that?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it probably did. I don't think so because they was already kind of rocky.
Okay, so things was already kind of on bad terms.
Yeah.
You was already used to the situation, how it was a little bit. I get that. Okay, so do you have brothers and sisters?
I do.
How many?
I have 2 sisters and 3 brothers.
And where are you in the birth order?
I'm the middle child.
Middle child. Okay, and so growing up, would you say that you had like a fairly normal childhood?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Tell me about it.
I just have a lot of childhood trauma. Dealt with a lot of abuse.
What
Not
happened?
really physical abuse, more like emotional abuse and mental abuse. And now I'm just trying
Hold on,
to...
real quick. We're gonna let this guy pass by.
Okay.
How's it going today, brother? I see you doing your 1-2, man.
So, I just had kind of like a dysfunctional family, so growing up in that, I just, I didn't really have a safe space as a child. So now that I'm an adult, I do see how my childhood has affected me in a way where I'm not really, how do I say, like growing how I should be in a sense, or handling stuff how I should be in a sense.
How have you handled it, and how have you realized that wasn't the right way?
Just watching other people, just watching people that are healthier and grew up in that healthy environment, and how they handle things and how they're, just going about life, and just realizing that I needed to do some work on myself.
So like, I guess, give me an example of like some of the stuff that you considered unhealthy growing up.
Okay, so just verbal abuse. My parents definitely showed favoritism to a certain child, just not feeling like I was
loved.
Yeah.
I get it. I can feel it bouncing off of you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did anything like ever happen to you as a kid, as far as like any sexual trauma or anything like that?
Yeah, when I was a child, I don't really have much memory, just because of traumatic stuff. It's like how your mind kind of.
What age did that
blocks
occur?
Everything out. Probably like 4 or 5, all through childhood.
All like through up to what age?
Probably about, I want to say like maybe like 10-ish. I don't really have much memory back then. I just know that I wasn't, took care of properly.
Whew. So you feel like you've kind of blacked out a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
As far as what you may remember or what you may know, what was it that you remember, or whatever was happening? Like what was it that was going on?
Like I said, I just wasn't. I wasn't taken care of how a little girl should be taken care of. I wasn't.
So in other words, like I have 2 daughters, right? So I'm very familiar. Like I love my girls to no end. Okay, they're 12 and 14 now. But even throughout their growing up, and even to this day, I still ask them, hey, has anything ever happened or anything like that, just to kind of continuously tap in on that stuff. That's why I'm curious as to how these things happen to our little girls.
Yeah.
Was this something that was happening like inside the house type deal?
Yeah.
And was it someone that you was related to?
I don't want to say that. I don't really want to put nobody on blast. It's just I was in a home where I wasn't protected. You know what I'm saying? And it could have been family. It could have been friends.
Here's the reason why I have these conversations, right? One, I can feel the energy bouncing off of you. I've done enough of these interviews over the course of 2 years that I can feel it. It's radiating off of you. And what I've learned is that it's oftentimes, sometimes maybe it stings a little bit, or sometimes it's like ripping the Band-Aid off. It's like a little initial pain there. But man, after that initial pain wears off, it's so much better to kind of release this stuff, talk about it, get it out of your system, and give it to the universe to deal with. And it also helps us as a community to understand how these things happen, understand who we need to be looking out for. One of the biggest things that we were taught, especially when it comes to little girls growing up, was stranger danger. But what I found from this channel is that it's actually not the strangers.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And so I'm not asking you to try to necessarily put anybody on blast or anything like that. You don't have to name any names or anything, but
it was definitely within the family.
And so was this like a older family member, like an uncle's type deal, or was it like someone that was in your same generation? Like
I said, like a lot of those memories I kind of just blacked out. So I know something happened to me that was significant because of how hypersexual I was at a young age, because I was just exposed to it too early.
What type of stuff, like, so like for instance, and we've heard these stories a lot on this channel, right? That, you know, those type of things definitely turn you hypersexual. What was the first age that you decided to start doing it for, like, just for you?
When I lost my virginity when I was 16, but I was exposed to sex very early on. Like, I knew what it was very, very early on.
What did you what do you consider like hypersexual?
Just like just putting too much focus on it, being boy crazy, leading with sex, you know, just being too. I feel like most normal young girls, they don't really put so much focus on it. I feel like when I was growing up, it just was a focus. Like, it was just.
It was what you thought about
Yeah.
all the time, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, definitely was looking for love in all the wrong places, and just looking for that love that I felt like I didn't get in my home. So just, you know, boy craziness, really.
Did your parents ever know about what happened to you when you was younger?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. But
What was their reaction?
I don't really. I've never talked about this with my parents, but I'm sure that they know. I've never really dived deep into it. It's just something that I've just been holding on, you know, on to.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. That is exactly why I'm here. Because you can't. You just literally and physically can't. So you feel like they may know, but if they're watching this video right now, do you think that they're shocked to hear this? Or are they like, well, yeah, I kind of knew, but...
Honestly, I feel like if they've seen this interview, they'll just be like, because I don't really have a great relationship with my mom. That's part of the reason why, you know, I'm kind of...
in this situation?
Like, you know, broken in a sense. I never had a good relationship with my mom. Honestly felt like she never liked me. So I'm really just out here just, you know, trying to figure life out.
So let's take a second real quick, right? Because the mother relationship is such an important relationship to any human being. Feeling that your mom feels that way about you, how does that make you feel?
It makes me, it's makes me feel like unlovable, like, cause like it just makes me feel like if my mom doesn't love me, then who, you know what I mean, like who will, you know? So it just makes me feel sad. I just feel like
devalue yourself a little bit, and like you say, searching for love from a little bit of any and everywhere.
Exactly.
What's your relationship like with your dad?
It's a little bit better, but he is a little bit more he can be a little bit abusive. He can be a little bit abusive verbally. So I dealt with that a lot growing up.
Have you ever spoken with a therapist or anything like that?
No, I haven't. I really want to. It's just a matter of just finding one and being able to pay for it. But I really do feel like I would benefit from it. But most of the work that I've done on myself, I've done a lot of work on myself.
Well, that's like me. That's like me having some wound that I have to heal, and I'm like, instead of going to the doctor, I'm gonna just work on this myself type deal. So I get it, and you can make progress working on things by yourself. So I'm not saying that that's not the case, and I'm not saying that every therapist is perfect, because that's not the case either. But I know that even the opportunity to share this stuff in a safe space sounds like it'll be so helpful for you. Yeah. Because ultimately, you're gonna need to share these feelings with your parents, and this, like I say, this video is the start of it. Okay, so one of the things that we do on this channel, right, is we have conversations with people when they're not right in front of us, because it allows us to really express ourselves without them having a chance to gaslight us or manipulate us or cut us off or anything like that. if there was anything that you wanted to express to either one of your parents, this is the time. Go ahead.
To my mom, I just wanted to know like why I wasn't, good enough to get that validation from her and that motherly love that I, craved, all my life. I just, sometimes I literally will just break down because I just wish that I wish I had some type of, guidance or, direction in life that I feel like I'm missing. To my dad, just, I know you tried the best way that you could because you didn't have a great upbringing yourself. I know you went through a lot of trauma yourself, so I know that you at least tried to do something, change the narrative and break, the curse of, what was going on in our family lineage. But I just acknowledge that I know that he tried, and it probably, that's, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, listen, unfortunately, there's no handbook to parenting, right? And so, if you didn't have the greatest upbringing, oftentimes it's not going to lead to a whole bunch of really great results, but sometimes it does. Yeah. Okay, so, all right, 3 kids, same dad or different dads?
Different dads.
Different dads, 3 different dads?
No. 2.
No, 2. Are any of them active and present in their lives?
They're all active and present.
Okay, so they're both active and present.
Mm-hmm.
Were you in like relationships with these guys, or were they just like kind of sexual encounters type deal?
I was in a relationship with my child's father for about 5 years. We broke up right before I came here.
Here from where?
I'm saying before I came to the shelter, we had broke up.
Why?
I just feel like we both needed to work on ourselves, and it was just some issues with him, like kind of like not being faithful, not being honest and stuff. So that was one of the smaller issues. But I just felt like we both was at a point where we needed to work on ourselves. Like we was in a we was in a messed up situation, and we was both kind of just looking at each other like, what we gonna do now, instead of...
Was he like around your same age?
Yeah, he's 30, so 32, I'm sorry. And
so, I mean, he was a few years older than you. Yeah, I always tell, people ask me oftentimes about my girls, right? Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of age gap dating, because I believe that a man needs to lead, and women tend to have more successful relationships with men that are leaders, and that can kind of guide them type deal.
I would love to have somebody to guide me.
I tell you what. Yeah, because because then you end up in a situation like this. Life is tough.
Yeah.
And so if you don't kind of have the backbone of having like a supportive family and stuff like that, man, sometime in your 20s, most people are gonna tanker. Most people are gonna fall because it's just hard out here.
Yeah.
So so as far as that goes, right? Like, your family. Okay, if I was to, did your mom treat all of your siblings like this, or do you feel like you was kind of isolated in that regard?
I was isolated.
Why do you think that is?
I'm definitely like the black sheep of my family. I just had a different set of values, and I just had a different way of thinking. So because of that, I was kind of isolated.
Well, I mean, were you like rebellious? Like if I asked your mom, would she say like, let me tell you? I was
definitely rebellious. I'm not going to say I was the perfect child. I was definitely rebellious, especially when I was in high school. Because like I said, I was hypersexual. So
what type of stuff was you doing? Like, if she would say like, man, she had 3 boys in the house, and when I came home, what was, you tell us so that I don't have to get the email where she's telling me all the stuff.
I would say I would just like skip school and go, with a boy or,
But that was at 16? So that was like by the time you was... Well, like your junior year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what about freshman and sophomore year?
I mean, I didn't lose my virginity till 16. So
well, right. So I'm trying to figure out, like, were you more focused? Were you more kind of, focused on school and kind of a good kid type deal, or were you?
I was not a good kid. I was not a good kid. I was very depressed throughout my whole entire high school career. So I didn't focus on school.
So why do you think that is?
Because I just was lacking that. I was lacking that confidence that I should have got.
Why?
why was I lacking confidence?
Yeah.
It just wasn't instilled in me. I was insecure. I was
I mean, you're a
standoffish.
beautiful girl.
Yeah.
You got beautiful features. But just saying that, well, and I guess where I'm trying to circle back around to, right, is trying to maybe understand or maybe help you understand that maybe some of that stuff that happened that you've blacked out is at the root of a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure, yeah.
And so that's why kind of talking about it and unrooting it, allowing, kind of taking the power that it has over you away. That's why that's so important.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? And again, not trying to put anybody on blast or anything. But I'm just going to ask, right? Was this like your brother?
No, not my brother, no.
Okay. I just wanted to ask. Not trying to, not trying to push you too much, right? But just kind of trying to help you to unroot this stuff. Help you to figure out, hey, man, that stuff that happened has a major effect on the way that I moved, the way that I made decisions, the way that I felt about myself. I mean, and that's a very young age, right? So I'm just going to ask just a couple more questions, right? Without having to go into too much detail, did that abuse involve penetration as well?
No, it was not. I never got penetrated. It was just like, touching, molestation, like.
Touching like in your private areas and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Look at you. I just saw your cousin.
Right, you did?
I gotta talk to you too.
Okay, I'm gonna be right back.
All right, cool beans. Anyway, I ain't even gonna put her business out there, but she got a lot of help from when she did her video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she did. Okay. So we find ourselves in this situation at 28. How long were we in the apartment or wherever we was at?
I was in my place for about 4 months before I got
Evicted.
kicked out. Yeah.
Right, and it takes about a month or two for them to evict you. So I mean, I guess things was kind of dicey right away type deal.
Yeah, I didn't really have the income that I needed to be there.
Were you living with the guy at that point? Your
my child's father, yeah, not him.
So
my child's father.
right, yeah. I don't know who that was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so you was living with your child's father, and I guess both of the incomes wasn't enough to kind of take care of the bills and expenses.
I don't really want to, say too much, but it was a lot to.
Well, no, here's the thing, right? I get it. It may be embarrassing or whatever it is, but details are important so that we understand actually how it happens, right? It's not to embarrass or anything like that. It's to gain understanding. Like, in other words, 2 adults working, $1,600, it's about what rent is out here. So, I mean, what was the problem? That's what we're trying to figure out.
He was in between jobs, and I was the one that was kind of taking care of everything. And
is that what you didn't want to say?
yeah, because
Why?
Because it looks bad on him as a man, and I know his situation. I know he was in between something. He was looking for stuff. So
yeah, well, I mean, listen, it is what it is out here. Like it is what it is. No need to try. So you like a lot of people, right? I can see that you try to protect folks.
Yeah.
You need to stop doing it. You know who you need to protect?
Me.
Yeah. And those 3 kids you got.
Yeah.
Okay. So hold on real quick, okay? Okay. So yeah, that's definitely what you need to do. Okay. So what are we doing at this point to try to get ourselves out of this position?
Right now I'm just trying to find a good paying job. That's my goal right now. Once I find that job, I can secure, housing, and I guess I'll just go from there. I mean, the shelter that I'm in, it kind of forces you to, be out and.
Yeah, I know. You got to leave at a certain time and then come back at a certain time, and so you got to make some stuff happen.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that. So, all right. Well, I mean, listen. If anybody out there wanted to reach out, help, or donate, do you have a way they could do that? Do you have social media, Cash App, anything like that?
I have Cash App, and I have social media.
What's your socials?
Kendall Nicole Franklin.
Okay, Kendall with an E.
Kendall.
Okay.
Nicole and Franklin.
And what about your Cash App?
Cash App, I don't know it. I don't know the.
Well, take a
it's,
second now, because you got to get this part right.
Okay.
So,
it's in my phone. I just got a new
go
one,
get it.
so- Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we got the Cash App. So, hold on, let me. I want you to look all blurry. All right, so we got the Cash App. So, so what is it?
It's Ken Nicky, KenNicky 995.
Okay, okay. All right, well, listen, we really appreciate you. And like I say, definitely wish you and the kids nothing but the best out here, all right?
Thank you.
Make sure you have a good one, sweetie.
You too.
All right.